issue 6. Yeah. I'm gonna run you through the process. So I started doing casting and putting it on my Instagram story. Casting. Like last June. By July, and I mean, I don't remember exactly when, but I started following Tax Magazine on TikTok. And I think, so, TikTok magazine, the TikTok account of the magazine is actually Noah, who is the founder of the magazine. And he's explaining his, like, all the behind the scenes of the magazine, which is so interesting. And I loved that. And he was, like, so honest and so transparent about all the step of the way. And he's, like, a lot of people would just comment telling him, like, now, like, best practices or something, you know, just to keep improving, because he really, like, created all of it from scratch, all by himself. So that's something he can be very much proud of. And the thing is that, so I started following Tax, and I was like, I love it. I loved it. So I just ordered my copy. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna order it. And as I was ordering it, I was like, you know what, maybe there's something to do with them. Maybe I can, because it's such a young magazine, I mean, something can happen with them, you know. That would be very nice. That would be, like, aligned with the work that I want to do. Like, that kind of paper that I love, you know. And the story is that I wanted to wait until I got the magazine to then just DM him on Instagram. The thing is that so I followed him, he immediately followed me back on Instagram. So I was like, wait, that's major, like, so nice. And I couldn't get hands of the copy that I ordered, that he already sent me a message like a week after we've been following each other. So I was like, and I remember I told him there's a French expression which says, tu m'as coupé l'herbe sous le pied. Which means, like, you cut the grass under my feet. Which means, like, you did it as I was about to do it also. Because I wanted to text him, but he texted me first. So I was like, okay. I don't know, like, it all just happened. We then had a call. And it worked. We got along so well. I was like, he's from LA, so we had, like, very, like, few hours within the day to call each other. I was, yeah, okay. So yeah, that was amazing. Like, we had such a nice call, and it was like, yeah, we do have an editorial that we would want with three models. So you'd be great for it. I was like, yes, I want to do it. Let's do it. So, and then it just happened, and so we But then he wanted it, like, to be like done during August, and nobody works in August in Europe. So I was like, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but I can like try in the middle of August, maybe some people will respond. And it worked in the end, but they shot like maybe like the first weekend or second weekend of September, if I remember. So I wasn't there. It was already like a very expensive production. I know I'm allowed to say that because, as you will see if you go on the TikTok account, you'll see Noah talking about everything, like being very transparent. They even have a blog about making text magazine, talking about like numbers and how the magazine can sustain by itself. And because you have to understand that Noah has a 9 to 5, and he's putting all his money and all of his free time into the magazine, which, like, he's the best by doing so. And it's a very small team because there's him, there's Olivier, who's the creative director, and then Olivier's assistant, and someone doing the social media. So, like, very, very small team who is doing like this 13 prescribed path. It has long guided us towards arrival, toward light. But what happens when the field shifts, when unseen forces bend the pull, distorting what once felt certain? To deviate is not to be lost, but to see what others never will. Issue 6 is a magnetic anomaly disrupting the unexpected, unlocking the unseen, and redrawing the directions. The compass promises truth, but what if truth is a moving target? Love that. So yeah, that's so happy and proud that I was a part of it, and hopefully will be a part of next issue also. So let me show you my favorite pictures here. So it's just like these three guys here. manifestations, and now it's my client. It's a good client. I love it, and I cannot wait for the next issue and do more of that kind of editorial, because that's the quality and how aligned I am with what's also inside of the magazine, like all the other editorials and writing stuff, and like, yeah, it's such a cool magazine that you will love. I'm sure if you are listening to me, you are someone that will love this magazine. I'll make sure of that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening. This was very personal in the end. I mean, I do a lot of personal stuff, obviously, but this was, this is like my core. This is the work that I'm doing. This is how I project myself to be. Like, I want to grow on being a good casting director and be a famous one and be established and establish myself as that guy that I see myself being. So yeah, thank you again so much for watching and listening. Let me know if you order your copy. I'll be so proud.